When you're talking in a room and the music stops and then all of a sudden you're talking louder than everyone else. Oh, I'm gonna curl back into, I'm just gonna hide. What's up, dreamers? I'm Bryce from Midnight Notion, and this is the Rocker Review. Fences, track number 10 from Paramore's album Riot. I'm excited to get into this one because somebody in the comments on one of the previous videos said that I'm gonna really like Fences. So I have no idea what the song is about or what it's gonna sound like, but I've been told that I'm gonna like it, or I think they said that it was their favorite or that I'm really gonna like it. Either way, I'm looking forward to it being that. I hope it's a really good, fun song. As usual, I'm gonna be ranking it using the following criteria: structure, flow, melody, engagement, and lyrics. Each category is a 0 to 4 scale, with 0 being not for me, 2 being the baseline standard, and 4 being great. Again, these numbers mean absolutely nothing. I'm just a nerd who likes to rank my favorite songs on each album. So far, we've got 9 songs done. So this will be the 10th song. We'll find out if it's 10th place, 1st place, or somewhere in between. So play along if you like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'd love to have you here for the last song, and then and also other songs in the future. And then check out my music. Midnight Notion is the artist, and the albums are available wherever you get your music online. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. But first, my thoughts on Fences. Let's do this thing. Ooh! That walking bass line.
I'm sitting in a room made up of only big white walls, and in the hall there are people looking through the window in the door. They know exactly what we're here for.
We got sort of a country vibe going on with the drums being really just like kick and snare. Boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka, boom, ka. It's a shuffle beat. Boom, da 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 da. Short, long, short, long, short, long, short. That's how the notes are going. So it's in 4/4, but it's a shuffle. But we got that rolling snare drum, sort of a train kind of vibe, and we got the guitars just ringing out. That walking bass line just going all over the place. That kind of gives it sort of a big band or jazzy sort of feel. So it's kind of country, kind of jazz, big band, a lot of vibes going on here. I'm looking forward to this song exploding. I can feel the energy kind of boiling up, bubbling up, getting ready to explode. And I can hear Haley's just like, it's very, very cool so far. Let's see where it goes. I'm going to go back a little bit just in case there's something big coming.
I'm sitting in a room made up of only big white walls, and in the hall there are people looking through the window in the door. They know exactly what we're here for. Don't look up, just let them think there's no place else to rather be. You're always on display for everyone to watch and learn from.
Teasing.
Don't you know by now you can't turn back.
Hey, offbeat.
'Cause this road is
Hi-hat
all
and kick drum.
you'll ever have. And it's obvious that you're dying, just living proof that the camera's lying. And
That's fun. There's a lot of really cool things. There's the hard hit in the guitar, and then everything's really tiny and small. We had something like this at the end of the Taylor Swift record in the last review series. So it's kind of funny that the end part of the albums have this like heavy but then small chorus, like everything just bop, and then just one tiny little guitar in the background. It kind of mixes it up. We also have some offbeats going on, some really syncopated hits going on here. So we had that really steady 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 going for a long time, or 1 2 3 4, however you want to count it. But now we got these little offbeats, and we're accenting the offbeats. We're doing a lot of syncopation, a lot of fun stuff there. But that big build that I was expecting, like a big explosive, like everybody playing da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Instead we just get a bop, and it's not a bad thing. I think this song is really grooving. A lot of this is because of the drumming, but I really like what I'm hearing so far. There's the steady playing. Nice. I like those tom hits at the end of this.
If you let me, I could. I'd show you how to build your fences, set restrictions, separate from the world. The constant battle that you hate. fight, just blame the limelight. Don't look up, just let them think there's no place else you'd rather be. And now you can't turn back.
Hey.
Because this road is all you'll ever have. And it's obvious that
Did you hear that? We had one hit of just, we got like sort of a tambourine going on in the background, or the shakers of the tambourine on the 2 and 4, and there was a full stop where none of the instruments were playing anymore, and we had a tambourine on the 4, and then everything came in on the and. So I don't know if that was a mistake or if it was just kept in for fun. Sometimes you're editing things in Pro Tools or whatever, and you forget to edit out one of the hits, and it stays in and it's on the record. That doesn't mean it's a mistake, as in it's a bad thing. It just means sometimes you didn't intend it to be there, and it could be a happy accident, or it was intentional. And I just think it. I don't know. I don't have a preference either way. I'm just pointing out that there's a tambourine hit there when nothing else is playing, and then everything else comes in. Listen for this. I'm going to go back. Listen for the stop. Did you hear that? I like that band.
You're asking for it with every breath that you breathe in. Just breathe it in. Yeah, well, you're just a mess. You do all this big talking. So now let's see you walk it. I said let's see you walk it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, I want to break down this guitar solo. Again, it's very rhythmic in its nature. It's not a very fast movie solo. It's not like something we would see from 80s guitarists or whatever. It's a little bit more pulled back. And that's common in pop punk, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What I want to call to your attention is the phrasing and how we set up things and we repeat things multiple times, but then we change them up the second time around. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the solo. And what I want you to listen for is how the notes go blah, blah. So it's just those two, the top one and then the bottom one. And then it repeats blah, blah, and then it goes down blah again. And then it goes back again, blah, blah, and it climbs up. And so I don't know the exact order, but listen to it as if it's just a phrase, a 1 and a 2, right? If the 1 is here and the 2 is here, not the 1 and 2 in chord shapes in the key signature. I'm talking about if this is the first one and this is the second one, how often does it go between, and where do the new notes land, and how often are they catching you off guard? They're setting up a pattern, and then they're repeating the pattern, and then they're breaking the pattern. And that's the thing that I think is really cool about it. So it's not a flashy solo, but it's almost singable. You almost feel comfortable. You almost know where it's gonna go next. And I like that a lot. So pay attention to how the guitar moves. I'll try to illustrate it with my hands. We'll call this the first note. The first note, not the root note, just the first note, and we'll go along and watch where my hand goes. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah. So is it blah 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So it's moving all over the place, but in ways that are familiar. They're setting up patterns and breaking them in interesting ways. That's a great way to write any sort of melodic line. So apply it to your own music today.
Yeah, well, you're just a mess. You do all this big talk.
It sounds like there's an acoustic guitar there scratching. They're just holding down the strings with their fingers and then just strumming the string with the pick. But because they're not pressing on the strings and they're not open on the strings, you're just getting that shaka, 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 shaka. Really cool.
So now let's see you walk it. I said let's see you walk it. And it's obvious that you're dying, dying. Just living proof that the camera's lying. And open wide. Yeah, open wide. Yeah, open wide. 'Cause you'll go out in style.
Oh,
You go out in
is it claps or snaps or both?
style.
And that's it. It's just over. That's a groovy tune. Let's give it some points. Whoosh, structure. This one's a little bit different. It seems on the surface like it's verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, but each chorus has a little bit of a pre-chorus before it. The vibe of the verse changes halfway through, so you could call it part of the verse. You could call it a pre-chorus. Either way, I think it's a pre-chorus because there are similar words both times. So because the words repeat, it feels very pre-chorus to me. But then the bridge is interrupted. There's a full bridge, there's a guitar solo, and then there's like a half bridge after that. So there's like a second bridge, and it's not in the same format as the verses, so it is a true bridge. So it's like a bridge, solo, bridge, and then the final chorus. And then on top of that, each chorus is a little bit different. The first chorus ends with a full stop and the hook, and then the second chorus omits the hook in favor of a different end to the smile with the big bend. And then the final chorus has a repeating couple of lines before we finally get the hook at the end again. So structurally, we have a really creative narrative build. There's something new each time we come around. There's something unique to keep us involved, to keep us engaged, to keep us interested. So structurally, I like this a lot. It's a 3. Flow, you got me from the very first note. I love the shuffle beat. I love the vibe of that sort of country / big band / punk rock. All of it's there. It's a multi-genre song, and I like that a lot. There wasn't any point in the song where I felt like I was pulled away from the song. I really like the stops and the big hits and the small guitars, followed by the full band, followed by the bass line. We haven't talked much about bass on this entire record, and now we finally get to hear it featured with that walking bass line. Is really fun. So the flow, I have absolutely no complaints. It's a 4. Melody, I like this one just enough. I think that Haley's singing some great things. She's using her range. She's singing lower in the verses and going up on the choruses. Usually we have choruses singing a little bit higher. We have the guitars doing holding back, just strumming those diamonds on the verses, but then they're playing a lot heavier in the choruses, and they're doing a lot of dynamic shifts. The drums are all over the place. We got that train vibe in the beginning, and we got some cool hits, and we got some cool fills. And then we have a guitar solo, which isn't a full-on flashy solo, but it is fun and it is melodically interesting. So I think that they can do much better. This band all has the skill to do something even better, but altogether I think it's pretty awesome. So we'll give this one a 3. Engagement. Every time I come around to this category, I have to really consider what is it about engagement. For me, baseline standard is I'm bobbing my head all the way through the song, and that is exactly what happened. There were elements in the song that I'm looking for where there's a full stop and then the singer says the hook of the song, right? The hook being you'll go out in style, right? And so when she stops and says you'll go out in style, I'm expecting to say that on the second chorus. The downside to this song is that the second chorus doesn't end that way. The second chorus ends with smile, and that hook isn't there. So I don't feel like I can sing along on that second one. It's that thing where the music when you're talking in a room and the music stops, and then all of a sudden you're talking louder than everyone else. It's that thing where if I tried to sing the hook of the song in the second chorus, I would suddenly notice that I'm the only one saying words and nobody else is singing along, and I would be like, oh, I'm gonna curl back into I'm just gonna hide. When you want to engage your audience to get them to sing along, you don't want them to curl up and hide inside their shells. You want them to be able to proudly sing, to confidently sing. And this song doesn't have a whole lot of opportunities to really get invested in the lyrics unless you've read them before. So it's not a bad song. It's not lyrically bad. It doesn't, and again, once again, every time I got to put disclaimers on everything because somebody's going to get mad at me. The disclaimer is not every song needs to be a sing-along song. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that if I'm looking for a song to engage, this did exactly as most songs do. There were several spots to do like a hey hey or a yeah yeah. We would probably get that in the live versions of the song, but as far as the recorded version, I didn't have enough to feel great about my engagement. I just bobbed my head all the way through and enjoyed it. So it's not a bad score, it's just right down the middle. Engagement 2. Lyrics, let's take a look at them, shall we? I'm sitting in a room made up of only big white walls, and in the hall there are people looking through the window in the door. They know exactly what we're here for. Don't look up, just let them think there's no place else you'd rather be. So this could be read in a few different ways. I'm sure there's an official intent, but based on the lyrics of the past couple songs on this record, there's been a lot of talk about depression, sadness, suicides, things like that. So this could be literally sitting in a room, big white walls. That could be a padded room, like an asylum. It could be a hospital, in a hospital bed. It's the people looking through the window in the door. It's that kind of vibe that's giving me this sort of like people are watching to see, are you going to survive the surgery? Are you going to come out of your coma? Are you going to be healthy again? Are you going to be well again? Or is your mental state going to be back to where it was before this event? That's the vibe that I'm getting from it. I don't know the official answer. I haven't looked up anything about the song, but what I'm getting is some sort of negative place and people looking in, or perhaps it's a positive place and people are looking in with a different form of judgment. But the reason why I think it's negative is because later we talk about blame the limelight, and the limelight is usually a word we use to refer to like the silver screen or the big screen, right? The stars, the people in the light, right? As soon as you're in the lights, you're a famous person. Everybody's looking at you. We go back to the chorus. The camera's lying, right? When the camera goes on, you smile for the camera. Everything's hunky-dory. Everything's A-okay. But inside, you're dying, and the camera is lying. So you turn on the camera, you smile, but deep down inside, there's a darkness. That's what leads me to believe that this is more about like an asylum or a hospital or a recovery place of some sort. That's what I'm getting from the lyrics. I do like how there's sort of this tease, like the verse is going to go into the chorus, but then it kind of comes back into more verse, and we have this, you can't turn back because the road, this road is all you'll ever have, comes back later, but the second verse, it's, and now you can't turn back because this road is all you'll ever have. So the first one gives you sort of that you can't turn back, but maybe you might be able to, but now you can't. Now it's too late. It's too late. So it's very, I don't know, it's an interesting take. I like that it's kind of, I don't want to say generic, but it's open to interpretation, except for the limelight bit. It seems like we're pointing to something that could be applied to multiple different situations. And that's, I like that. I like that. There is an official meaning somewhere, but that it could be applied multiple places makes it a more accessible song. And I like stuff like that. I'm not going to go too deep into rhyme schemes or structure of the lyrics. We've talked about that way too much on this record. But I am going to say that I do like these lyrics overall. I think that they're saying, they're decorative, right? They're a little bit more artsy than the rest of the record has been. Everything's been very surface level. And I guess, like I said, I mean, this is kind of painting a picture for me, but I like the way that it's set up. I'm sitting in a room made up of only big white walls, and in the hall we are setting the scene. This is the beginning of the movie. Whenever you see a movie, the first scene is usually, or the first part of most scenes is going to be that sweeping shot where you see the location and okay, now we know know where we are. Now we can continue with the dialogue parts or the action parts. Usually there's that overview. So this is the overview. I'm sitting in a room. These are the walls. Now let's talk about why we're here. And I like what's happening in these lyrics. I feel sad for the person that's feeling this way. I hope that people that find themselves in a form of limelight aren't feeling down on the inside. And I hope that if they are, they're seeking professional help, and that they know, I hope that you know as well, there are people out there that want to help, myself included. I don't always have the right words to say, but I'm here for you. I believe in you. I love you. So if you're feeling down, just know you can always come here for support. Lyrics, not a whole lot of complaints. I know that they can do better, but I know that they can also do worse. So for me, lyrics get a 3. And so Fences gets a grand total of 15 points. Very good score. This one rocks. Let's see where it lands on the top 10 list. The now complete top 10. It is in 4th place. Well done, Fences. Right underneath Crush, Crush, Crush. And for a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. That's what you get, still in 1st place. And now officially in 10th place is We Are Broken. We only have one more song on the record, and then we do have an acoustic track, acoustic version of Misery Business. I won't be giving that one a score, so there's only going to be 11 tracks with scores, but what the heck, I'll react to it anyway, so you know that that's coming. But that's my list so far. Now tell me in the comments below, what's your top 10 list? What sort of ranking system are you using, and what score did you give this song? Let me know. Be honest, be critical, really think about it, and then hit that subscribe button, because like I said, there's 2 more songs from this record. One of them is getting ranked, the other is just gonna be a fun review or a reaction, and then we'll move on to the next artist. So thanks for being here. And then, oh yes, one last thing, make sure to check out my music. Midnight Notion is the band, and my music is available wherever you get your music online. You Paramore fans are going to find lots of stuff to enjoy, I promise you that. And that is the video. I appreciate having you here. Welcome if you're new, and thanks for coming back if you're old, and I'll see you on the next one. You rock.